with your inner voice, kind of, you know, say, like, if I'm thinking of Spider-Man, I'd probably say Spider-Man in my inner voice, you know, thinking of it as a reflex. And I think they try and kind of entrain you to do that more so that they can get a clear reading. But in my understanding of it, and the way the V2K acts, you know, they can actually, you know, pick up a visual. Now, how clear it is, I don't know. You know, it could be very, very grainy, and they have to do a readout of it. I doubt that it's like a TV picture of your visual cortex, like a TV screen. Anyway, I'm getting way off track. I knew I would do that because they really, I mean, they've been hitting me very hard. My nervous system feels just chewed up, and you know, the left side, like, they've been causing a lot of pain in the left part of my back, like a lot of pressure and tingling, and it's not a beam coming to that spot. It is through remote neural manipulation, and I talk about this a lot on my calls and to other TIs. We have a vagus nerve that runs down the left side of our body, you know, from the left top of our head over here, you know, down all the way down through like our shoulder and the back, and it goes all the way down to the bottom of your foot on your left side. Now, what they're doing is, you know, through remote neural manipulation, they are sending a signal and training a certain part of my nervous system, my brain. So the brain is part of the nervous system. So they're hitting a certain part of the brain that is then able to create pain in places along my vagus nerve. Now, why that's so dangerous is the vagus nerve connects to the lungs, the heart, the digestive system. So it's a kind of a hard line in to a lot of things in your body. And they're able to access this. They're able to access the vagus nerve with the directed energy weapons, like after such a long period of time. So, you know, like, I think about you know, the State Department workers in Cuba, the 21 State Department workers in Cuba that this was happening to, and they had been hit for about a year, a little bit over a year. They may have not been able to do that kind of stuff to them yet, because what these the bottom line of this stuff is they're creating a radio receiver signal to the brain and the nervous system of whoever they have the directed energy weapons, you know, trained on. They're building up a radio receiver signal, and they're building on that. And I forgot what I was about to say, but it takes a while to do that. Like, it takes a while. Like, if I only had to go through this for a year, I probably wouldn't be talking too much about remote neural manipulation, or, you know, them being able to affect my emotional state too much, because they wouldn't have had enough time to get that hook in and build that hook up, that radio receiver signal. And they do that, you know, using the nanoparticulates in our system. If you've been implanted in medical procedures, they would use that. The point is that they were hitting me on the left side instead of making my back tingle and hurt, where the vagus nerve runs through the back. It runs through the jaw and the head. And so yesterday they just turned it up. They turned up the entrainment, and you know, it was like ripping up the left side of my head, because it was you know, irritating that vagus nerve. And I've had problems, you know, on that side of my jaw since I was like, you know, 20 years old. So didn't hear the high-pitched sound till about 7 years ago. But before that, you know, I had a lot of weird stuff happening to me. So, you know, I think that they've been doing things subtly for a long, long time to me. They do have a hook in me, but that's why it's important to, you know, it's important to listen to Dave CD or some kind of unentraining thing. You know, I listened to something really good 2 days ago, and then I listened to it for a little bit yesterday. It's Dr. Virtual 7. A lot of this stuff is very good. Like, a lot of this stuff really does kind of give you a feeling like you're getting a release from this, like it's kind of backing them off of you. You know, backing them out of their just in training and building up that radio receiver signal. But it's called 6 hour dream time hack prevention. 6 hour dream time hack prevention. Very, very good. It's very good. My attackers kind of changed, like the V2K went ape shit when I played it, and they started like there's like these crashing waves in the audio. It's like crashing waves, frequencies, nice sounds, and then a lot of white noise and stuff like that, and probably some other stuff that I don't know. But my V2K just started going crazy, and they were like, kill him. Like every time the wave would crash, like there was a big sound on the audio, they would go, kill him, every time. It'd be like every time. And they were actually doing that, I guess, to like put it into the chatterbox, because whatever they do, they try and cycle it into that automated chatterbox. This stuff is horribly bizarre, and I realize when I'm saying it, I'm very self-aware that, non-TIs who have no experience with any of this stuff and haven't researched in it, they will think I'm crazy. And, I've gone through that a million times. Like I had a comment on one of my last videos, which kind of weird. In these videos, I don't really show my, what's behind my wheel, like the speedometer and all that stuff. And it was a comment saying, oh, all your lights are on, all your, your maintenance lights and your check engine light is on, and you're driving around, making videos. You're a psycho. You need to, take your meds. And it was obviously the first comment. It got put up right when I put up the video. And it's such a joke because, like, I don't even really show. I mean, I guess I do. I can't even really remember, but that somebody would be paying attention to that to leave a comment about it is just completely ridiculous. I'm going all over the place, guys, today. Forgive me for that, or don't forgive me, or do whatever. I kind of wanted to go into right now in the TI community. TIs, we're all trying to think of better ways, to get activism out, to get the word out, to stop this stuff. That's what we're doing on the calls. I'm doing that every day, as well as just surviving. I know that a lot of TIs are just surviving. They're just trying to keep their mind from not falling apart with this excruciating 24-hour-a-day torture. And I keep forgetting what I'm going to say. That's okay. I mean, I knew this is mostly what I'm trying to do is just kind of tell y'all how I'm doing, kind of give an update on me. I knew it wasn't going to be so great because they've been really just really turning things up, on the directed energy to my head. It's really bad. It's very bad. But we're still everybody's thinking of new ways. We have the global TI survey. I think it's due at the middle of this month, unless the time is already up for that. And the Unity and Hope conference in October. I think it's the 22nd. Go to the 2017 unityandhope.com. To see when that is, but a lot of people are going. A lot of speakers are Skyping in. That's going to be huge. That's going to be a huge conference. Just giving us a lot more. I can't think of the word. Just giving us a lot more. Credibility is the word I was looking for. Having a hard time this morning, guys. I'm having a real hard time. Like the whole left side of my head just feels so shredded, and it just feels really shredded. They just, the guy on the V2K while he was doing it, or they had a group on there, and he's just like, I'm tired, I want to get this done. He's like, if we're gonna do this, we need to do it. Because I think sometimes my attackers, like, if I'm not doing anything, they really have no justification to beef up the torture, so they kind of keep it at a certain level. And yesterday the guy he went crazy. Like, one of the guys on one of the shifts went crazy, and he was like, if we're gonna do this, we just need to do it. And he just started like the V2K, like there was like layering in it, and then of course they were entraining my vagus nerve and making it hurt all of the left side of my head and my neck, which I was getting dizzy. And then they were also remote neural manipulating, like a high anxiety feeling, in my upper spine, in my brain, and my emotions, like a fight or flight. And I think the guy's just like getting tired. He wants to get me into a mental institution, or get me into the hospital, get me to the next level of whatever. But the main thing that keeps me going is that I put myself back together. I tell you what, guys, I have times where the torture is so endless, and just like my mind, it feels like my mind is breaking apart, because it's just like the V2K does not stop. And if they can't do it live, if they can't sit there real time, they will put on a loop of Chatterbox. And the protocol is that they say things that are very general. Like my protocol, they say things that are very general, like like the woman will be like, "I'm leaving, this is crazy," and the guy will be like, "Are you serious? We got to put him away," and stuff like that. So they're talking about me, and it's very general, so that they can then cycle this back into an automated Chatterbox program. This stuff is very crazy. As a TI, like we do talk about it in the community, because it gets to a point where the attackers try and do things that are so bizarre, and they've got the technology to do this, to like put voices, to do like audio, and then it's an RF signal, goes through an RF modulator, turns into a microwave, so you get the microwave hearing, and shoot their voices basically at your head. I hear the voices not in my head, but like from a wall, or like from a distance. It's like directional. But we do discuss in the community on the calls, trying to kind of bottom line some of the stuff, not go into the stuff that's the very, very advanced stuff that this technology can do, and just kind of start out with we are being hit with wireless energy. It's it's directed towards our brain and our spine, our body. It's causing pain. They can do this or do that, and kind of stay simple. But since I'm making this video for other TIs, so that when you have an experience that's weird to you, you don't feel alone. You're like, okay, oh man, that sounds kind of like what I'm going through. Like me and my friend did that last night on his call. Really good TI friend of mine. He's trying to come up with some really good ideas, some things that just could move us forward a lot. But we go through kind of what they're doing to us. Like we both have these rechargeable batteries, and they'll either through the outlets, manipulating electricity, or just shooting the charger, they stop the charging of the batteries. They mess it up. So he was like, oh, they do that to me. And it kind of gives you this feeling, because they're doing such bizarre stuff to us, that it gives you a connection of, okay, this is kind of a protocol. They're doing it to us all, and it doesn't make you feel so alone. So that's like one of my main goals for these videos. I know I am trying to speak to non-TIs, and that does mess it up a little bit. It messes up going into the details, the nitty-gritty of once they get, the wireless energy, going to you and hooked into your brain and your nervous system and kind of built up, then what can they do after that, But I don't care, I'm trying to speak from my heart. I'm trying to just, say what God wants me to say, because I know He's there. And